Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophia, pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue to unpack Chinese classical China era's character. And today is another heavyweight, 哲 philosopher or philosophy, depends on how you pair it. If it's a 哲人, we're talking about the person who philosophizes, then it's philosopher. If you talk about a study or a bunch of thought, then that's philosophy. So 哲, same word. Um, and you can see we can, in simplified Chinese in 1958, it cannot be further simplified. And also probably because the significance of this character, after all, is about a philosophy, about the whole human of this language, how they understand the world, right? It's not only understand, probably about how to make peace with ourselves as well. 2000 years ago, script is made, same thing, but draw it in a more pictorial way that you can see what things are. Okay, there are three parts, even if it seems like separated here. But okay, the top right is jing, is an axe. And axe is Chinese express axe not by drawing how an axe is supposed to look, but drawing what the axe has done, which is cut the log, the tree, cut a piece off to break it apart. So intentionally, this character, and you can see the curve matches, kind of like the continent matches, right? This curve matches so that you know this chunk comes from the same part. And it's only because it's axed off. That's the result, the work of the axe, not the thing, the tool itself. So that's one way to visualize a concept. And then the bottom is a mouse symbol. I started by regarding as smiley face, upturned corner. That is not true. Later on, I see other more ancient variations of this icon. And then I realized it's not really about human mouse. It's pot. So ancient cookware. And these two upturned corners are the handles of that cookware. And because the cookware, the food, is essential for survival back then, right? I mean, today we take eating so easily, take it for granted. But ancient times, eating is a big deal, and Chinese, especially as a culture, emphasize a lot, like prioritize, and we have so much, so much about the cooking, and so this pot, cooking pot, eventually get associated with the diners, with the eaters, with the humans who use that pot to stay alive. And therefore, that's pot shape extended to become human mouth shape. It's related to eating as well as speaking, two major human functions, eating input, speaking output. Okay, left side is a hand symbol. We have exactly 5 fingers on there. If you look at it, it's almost the same, except I mean, we didn't draw out the palm. That's too much work. It's just one straight line. And middle finger, why it's bended? Okay, took me a while to figure out. The bend in the middle finger has no significance as the middle finger in English these days. I mean, that's a body language probably invented somewhere, sometime away from China. So totally irrelevant. This middle finger, bended, is serving as a differentiator purpose because we have a similar looking character that's hair, because hair is a fluffy. It goes this way as well. And when we pair that with this, it's really hard to tell which is hair, which is head. So some wise man, supposedly man, because I guess ancient times, majority of the users of the language is man, add a dot. Tilting toward the left means hair, tilting toward the right means hand. Hence, we have this hand symbol with a bended middle finger. Okay, a little bit awkward, but that's the historical truth. Okay, we have hand, cut off, this axe symbol, and a mouse. And all composite together to make the philosopher concept. How do you make peace with that. Okay. It seems pretty violent. Like you hand hold an axe and you're talking over it. Okay. My interpretation of that is okay, the mouse symbol comes later. The first combination, because we have three elements, right? Three elements, even if they're in the same frame, we can still kind of sequentially combine them together, kind of like a Lego piece. You piece this two together, snap, and then you piece another one, snap. So this two piece, this hand symbol plus this X symbol together actually means to break a plant apart. So in my view, the left, even if it looks like a hand, it also looks like a plant. It's like an upgrowing plant. Even if the classical Chinese plant symbol is a three only, but here it's five. It looks like a human hand. It could get mixed up uh, during the language development. Somebody like a copy, like before we don't have print, right? So there's no standard version. Everything is handwritten, copied, and in one of those copy action, things got miscopied, and later on, people all use the wrong version. That's my explainer. Anyways, this hand symbol could be grass, two grass stacking up together and split into two. And we have the X symbol. So the meaning is easy. That means you either use hand here or use the X to break the grass apart. So I mean, more likely is the grass symbol, two grass, and then you have the X next to it. Simply means you cut it apart. And this cutting apart, eventually 折, that's same pronunciation, and that means to break it apart, kind of this motion. And this breaking apart plus the mouse symbol means you're breaking apart some chaotic thinking, and you are able to verbalize, use your mouth to sort things apart, to break it apart. So philosopher or philosophy in Chinese probably carry the meaning of some wise person through deep thinking is able to break apart otherwise jumbled together concept so that they can sort things out, to delineate things, to classify things, to make sense out of. So we make two out of one, basically, right? To factor out the important cause and effect, things like that. So that in ancient times all attributed as a philosopher. 先者 for or forerunning philosopher. When Chinese say 先者, so first off, Chinese is a culture that is in awe or in full submission or respect of their tradition, of their older people, of their sage, people who lived before them, passed down their thinking, their thoughts, their framework, and the later days, they were held as high on the, like we are all their offspring, and we are all follow their thoughts. Therefore, the 先者, the people who come before us, especially their philosophers, they set the tone of how we live today. And Chinese totally put them as the sage status. And 先者in particular, in Chinese, probably the biggest shadow casting ones would be Confucius and Laozi, Taoism. So that level of sage. 知人则者. Ooh, it's a little bit hard to pronounce. It's a challenge. 则者. So you notice with H, without H, curl your tongue, not curl your tongue. So this how 知人则者. Okay, it's hard to pronounce. Okay, as you can see, it's not part of my everyday language. So I don't, when these four characters pieced together, it's my first time view it. I only know it a little bit before you when I prepared the slide. 知人则哲 literally means no human, then philosopher. That means the precondition to become a philosopher is to know humanity, to know about humans, to thoroughly understand, to have a certain human awareness. Then you can, think yourself as a philosopher. This 则 we can convert it to code. If then, so if you know human, then you can. It's a necessity. It's not, what's the other word? It's not guaranteed. It's one of the many conditions to become a philosopher. But to become a philosopher, you have to know humans first. And there you can see Chinese, they don't know humans. That's the precondition here. Even if there's no mentioning of knowing how, I guess, nature works, be a scientist in today's sense, like that was not emphasized, but know humans, how humans operate. That's the number one thing. 文史哲, okay, 文 literature, text. So text eventually means the whole, I guess, literary, text-based literary tradition. That becomes 文史, history. So recorded happenings of the past. And of course, those recordings are, if it's funded by the government, by the later rulers for, say, son to father, of course, is going to think highly of the previous to legitimize their current ruler, right? So this history is, history written by the winners and all that. So that's 史. 哲 is today's philosophy. So 文史哲 in Chinese are the three major pillars for what's made of liberal arts. And we don't see psychology in there. We don't see social science. To Chinese, the original three major pillars are simply literature, history, philosophy. And here, of course, we have to talk about no other but Lao Tzu. And even if we have 先哲, the sage, both Confucius and Lao Tzu cast big shadows. And to a degree, Confucius probably cast even bigger, darker shadow over history because Confucius was formalized or nationalized as the official philosophy. So if you want to enter the ruling class, you have to learn about Confucius, not necessarily Lao Tzu. So in that sense, Lao Tzu is almost like the fringe, the marginalized, the rebel almost, because Lao Tzu is representing one of those disenfranchised almost. He sponsored the idea of no ego, no attachment. And therefore, from that point of view, how do you motivate people, scholars, the whole class of young men to serve your ruling class purpose? It's hard to sell, right? So Lao Tzu totally kind of give a niche of the thinkers through generations to kind of make peace with themselves, with nature, kind of see beyond the current regime, the current, but like almost have a different kind of ambition. It's not to serve the ruling class at all, but to explore self-discovery, self-explore to something deeper. So in that sense, Lao Tzu really contributed a lot. And I've been doing this chat with AI about actually the Taoism, Lao Tzu, the thinking back then 2,000 years ago probably kind of correlates, not correlates, or explains even today's when we're facing, because the major distinction between Confucianism and Lao Tzu Taoism is Confucianism is a human-centric point of view. Everything to construct is about human relationships to build a society into harmony. Okay, Lao Tzu is different. It's not human-centric. It's cosmic. It's cosmocentric. So it's bigger, grander, it's more metaphysical. So in that sense, I almost like want to place Lao Tzu on top of Confucius. Confucius is bound by its time, by its location, serves a purpose of ruling class, tell people what to do, right? Lao Tzu is beyond. So it's in a sense, Lao Tzu is more timeless. It still holds true today. So if picking one philosopher from the whole Chinese language canon, I would pick Lao Tzu. Zhe. Thank you for your time. See you another day.